Are we live? Oh, there we go. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday to all of you. Let's see who's going to come in and chat it up with us just for a moment or two. Let's see who can get in to come in and talk to us, Justin, on this very, very special day. This very special day. Let's see. Let's see. I can't see the screen over there really good. But okay, we got some people coming in. Oh, maybe I should turn this the right way.
Oh.
Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Coach Tia, love you, love you, love you. Hey, Sharetta, good to see you on. Blessings to you. Hey, Yolanda, blessings to you. Yeah, some of my good friends are popping in this afternoon. Hey, Rhonda. Hello, hello, hello. I know y'all saw the title, right? Birthday Shenanigans. And I know they're like, birthday again? Didn't she just torture us through a whole month of birthday shenanigans? What's going on? What's going on? See, they know. They know. Happy birthday, Justin.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey, there's Wanda. Hey, Apostle Wanda. Blessings to you. Aisha is on there. What's going on, y'all, on this good Saturday afternoon? For those of you that are coming in, maybe you're popping in, you were scrolling through Facebook or what have you, and you saw this particular live and kind of jumped in here not knowing what you were getting yourself into. My name is Kimberly Jones. I am the co-founder of Force Glory Global. Me and my husband have founded this apostolic ministry where we are raising people up to live out their God-ordained purpose and destiny in so many different ways. So we are training and developing. As a matter of fact, this morning we had an amazing time in Repairing the Altar, School of Prayer and Deliverance. We had an amazing class this morning. And me and Apostle Lewis were in the class this morning teaching, and it was just a good time. So we're doing stuff like that. We're doing stuff like traveling and doing events like the prayer gathering that's coming up in just, it's not, I was going to say a couple months, but it's next
month. Yeah.
In about like 5 weeks, 6 months, about 6 weeks. Yeah, we're going to be kicking off the prayer gathering. So we're doing a lot of stuff. Like we are pushing people. We are pushing individuals and groups. And we know that that's the mandate and the call on our lives, especially for me. Listen, I am a life and empowerment coach. I'm a master coach. I train coaches. I pour into them and instruct them and push people out of their comfort zone. And that's why we're here today.
Yeah.
How can I push everybody else out of their comfort zone and not push my own out of his comfort zone? So I wanted to celebrate Justin today. So I'm glad you guys are on. I really wanted to celebrate him today on his 22nd. Whew, my goodness. Somebody's maturing. I don't know. On his 22nd, I'm not going to say somebody's getting old because I don't want to be known as getting old, okay? So anyway, his birthday's today. He's 22 years old, and there's some exciting things that are going on with Justin. And so I wanted to bring him on live just really quickly to talk about some of the things that God is doing in his life. And of course, it's his birthday. So listen, if you guys want to be a blessing to the man of God, minister Justin, I'm going to go on and put his Cash App up there. Here, I'm going to let him type it in that comment right there. But we just, I want you, it's time for him to just really, really let the world know who he is, what he's doing, because he is amazing. He is amazing, y'all. And he doesn't need to be a secret to the world. He needs to get out here and let the world know what's going on, because so many gifts, so many talents. God has blessed him in so many different ways. And me and his father, we know that we are blessed just to have him and to call him our son. Oh my goodness, he's been such a blessing. You know, I'm telling you, we'll talk some more about how much of a blessing that he's been. But if you want to bless Justin on his birthday today, you see his Cash App there. But one of the things that's happened recently with Justin and myself, we took this trip to Uganda. Yeah. And on this trip, It was amazing. It was amazing. And Justin had an opportunity to oversee the next gen portion of the missions trip, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Uganda was a really great trip. It was so much fun just to be able to be with the young people out there. So like for the basically for the duration of time that we were there, we I was leading out a group of students, so from elementary all the way up to college. So total, there's probably about 300 students there every day. And what that looks like was basically being with them, pouring into them, teaching them Bible, teaching them life skills, things of that nature, preaching to them, and also just getting to know them. And so it was really cool being with them for that week, just getting to know their stories, getting to know their names, and getting to know what they like to do, what they're passionate about, and then just helping them understand and see that God, has a purpose for their life, and that God has really created them to do something special. And so we were there, just kind of pouring hope into them. And so it was a really beautiful thing to see them kind of grasp onto, I have a purpose, I have a calling, and God, has something for me to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that Hendrix is here, so that we're trying to Kingston and her working some things out. But anyway, yeah, it was amazing to see. It was amazing to see Justin in his element while we were in Uganda and working with those students and ministering to those students. And just, I believe in that atmosphere. It was conducive to, it was kind of like an atmosphere that activated something. That's what it looked like to me on the outside looking in, kind of like there was a part of you that was activated.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. They were like, growing up, of course, there are always, things kind of spoken over, like who you are and what you'll do. But for me, it was really hard for me to kind of understand and realize everything that God had called me to do, because I was so insecure, like for a very, very, very long time. I didn't believe that I had a purpose, didn't believe I had a calling, and I didn't really believe that God could use me in the way that people, had told me that He would. And it wasn't until I was about 17, honestly, that I really kind of started to grasp onto, okay, like, I think that I can do this. I think I can do this ministry thing. I think that God can really use me to impact a generation, and I'm open. And so I got that call at 17. That was 5 years ago. But honestly, not really up until this trip, I think, was it like, did the light bulb really turn on and click for me in that way of being like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
This is not just something that now I see, but now it's something that I'm walking out.
Yeah.
And so the trip really just, I think it really empowered and activated me to say, okay, like, even while I'm on this trip, like, I don't have to wait until I'm older to see God, do a work in me. It just reminds me of the scripture in 2 Timothy where it talks about, don't let people, despise you because of your youth.
Mm-hmm.
And so being in Uganda, like, I was there to empower youth, even though I'm still young.
Yeah.
And so just to be able to do that, I think really showed me that I don't have to wait. But everything I have right now is what I need to do what God has called me to do. And so when I brought that same energy back home, I was like, I'm gonna, I'm gonna really start to pick up the pace on things. I'm gonna, kind of, dust off the dreams that I kind of sat down for a minute, and said, okay, like, there's some things that I actually want to do, and I'm not gonna let fear get in the way of me doing them. So.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, for your generation to be able to have an example of somebody who can be honest and truthful and say, you know what, it hasn't always been easy for me, even though I'm raised in a family of ministers and we've been at the forefront, all your life we've been pastoring, but yet there's still these things on the inside of you that you deal with that says, man, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if, I'm capable, if I have the gifting, and there's a lot of people, not just young and old. I work with people like that every day as a coach, as a counselor, as a pastor, with people who are very unsure of themselves and unsure of their abilities. And God has given me the ability to be able to look at people and say, I see it in you. Like, I know it's in you. You just got to step in it. If you could see what I see, and I
Yeah.
think I tell you that a lot, if you could just
Yeah.
see what I see, this guy right here, there's so much that he can do. And I just sometimes, I'll ask him for help on something, and he'll just, really quickly, do whatever. And I'm just amazed at the creativity and the ingenuity that he operates in as a young man, as a minister, as a creative. All of that, all those gifts come together and just, make what you see sitting before you today, who's able to do so many different things. You have your own business, don't you? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your business.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm a content creator. So basically, what that looks like is I partner with brands and businesses and organizations, basically just helping them visualize their brand and their business for social media. And so whether that's doing like logos or graphic design, photography, videos, just different ways to kind of help them get their name out there, but not just get it out there, but also allow them to like connect with audience and connect with customers. Because a lot of people, buy what they trust and they buy what they have faith in and what they have hope in. And so just kind of helping brands and businesses tell their story in a way that allows customers, to come and not just buy something, but become a part of something.
Oh,
Because like when I mean, just think about like your favorite brand
wow.
or your favorite, business or whatever it is that you like, things that you really like and enjoy, you normally buy them because there's a personal connection or there's a way that it makes you feel, and all that ties into branding and different content that you see. So I love that I get to play a part in helping tell that story, build that connection, and build that community. So
I love that. Not just buy something, but be a part of something.
yeah,
Wow. Like that. Now he just dropped that. Like he just let that slide off of his lips. Not just buy something, but be a part of something. Suppose we took that approach to business and to our content, that we're not just getting people to buy our products or our services, but we're inviting them to be a part of what it is that God has created us
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's really important. And right now, like I have the opportunity to do that for a church. So I work at a church right now as a content creator, and it is probably one of the most exciting and super fun things I get to do. Like you've seen a lot of the stuff that we
Yeah.
do, and we just it's something different and something new every single day. And the beautiful thing about it is that you know for a long time I didn't really see doing this for a church as ministry, but now I really understand like the impact of it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, a church's social media page is the first thing they see before they ever visit the church.
That's so
And
true.
so it's like, how do you relay the heart and the soul of this church, of this body of believers online in a way that doesn't seem gimmicky, that doesn't
Yeah.
seem like they're trying to force you into something, but something that, again, we're not trying to sell you something, as the church, our job isn't to sell Jesus, but it's to invite people to be a part of this journey with Jesus. And so
Mm.
how do we do that online?
Mm.
And so like the content that is created, the things that we do, it's not it's not so much of this, hey, this is what like, hey, this is what we do.
Mhm.
Like come be a part so you can tell everybody that you're a part, but it's like,
Mhm.
hey, like this is who we are.
Mhm.
Welcome, and
Mhm.
like, welcome to the family and come join us. And so every piece of content that we create comes from that place of this is literally who we are. And we're
Yeah.
inviting you to come be a part of us and
Yeah.
this thing that we're a part of. And so it's just a really beautiful thing.
I think that, a lot of people today, especially in social media, and a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, and this whole branding thing is so important that many times you find that somebody that people are more interested in building a brand than building their identity. Now, it's supposed to be the same, but many
Mm-hmm.
times it's very different because a lot of people mimic what works for branding, what works, so I can get people to come
Right.
and be a part of what I'm doing. But creating, and that's what it sounds like you help people do, to create and to express their identity, who they are, whether you're working for a church, for an individual, for a business. Justin helped me with, I did a 21-day Keep It Moving Mindset Challenge. And he helped me with creating the content for that, doing the copy for that. He helped me even in managing the group. And he just showed up. And this is what I love about him. He just showed up as himself. And him as himself is so powerful. I always say this, that God only anoints the authentic version of who we are.
Yeah.
And so when we're trying to be like somebody else or assume somebody else's identity, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work.
True. That's true. It's really good too. And just one thing you were saying, how like I guess people don't really understand like the difference between brand and identity. But I think another thing is, I think people can kind of like misinterpret what that means, because at the end of the day, like, your brand is your identity. Your brand is what people see and how they feel when they see it, which is your identity. That is it. What makes your business or your organization your business, or your organization, or for instance like your church. But in like an array of different things. So it's like your brand is not just your graphics or your photos, but like you said, it's your copy, it's your language. The way that you talk, the way what you say, maybe keywords, things like that ties into your brand. Colors you use, there's this whole thing of color psychology and how what certain colors make you feel, and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not going to go into detail on, but it's just a whole bunch of things like that all tie into branding identity. And it's a very important thing, because if you can, I even think we can apply it to yourself. Like, even if you don't have a business or organization, like, you yourself, you're a brand. What we would call that in like the social media space is a personal brand.
Okay.
So basically, like, let's say, like, so for me, for instance, like, I'm a business owner, but like at the end of the day, like, really, I'm the business.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I do provide like, a service of photography, but it's more so of the experience of being able to work with me and the work that I create. So people who work with me, they like my work, but but I produce that work. So they're really working with me.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I don't have, like, for instance, like, I don't have a separate Instagram page for my brand or business, because I'm the brand and I'm the business.
Wow.
Everything is ran together. So I'm more of a personal brand, and then people, they reach out to work with me.
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of how it works. And I developed it honestly from understanding like who I was first. And so like this whole thing, it wasn't like I want to start a business, but it was like, like, I really like art. I'm an artist and I really like being creative. So how can I use what I already have, to bring in revenue, to bring in profit? And it didn't even start that way. I just started because it was something I enjoyed to do. But now, like, there's a space and a place for it. And so it's just really cool to be able to like, not like strive like as a business owner, but just like be me and just allow kind of God just to let doors open from that.
That's good. Just being you, and not I love what you're saying about personal brand, and how this is what, when I was first started business, I had one of my uncles who was an amazing entrepreneur and had an amazing business. And I'll never forget this piece of advice or knowledge, wisdom that he gave me when I was starting my business. He said, there's 3 things that you sell in a business. You sell your product, you sell your company, but most importantly, you sell yourself. You sell yourself. And a lot of people, because when I do my coaching certification program, I challenge my coach trainees about the whole idea of selling yourself. And they always kind of wiggle in their seats with that, because it sounds like, I'm putting myself out there and I'm being prideful and but I try to explain, and I think we do a pretty good job in the coaching certification program, and explaining that before people buy anything that you have, anything that you make, anything, they're going to have to buy into your authenticity. They're going to have to buy into your story, your life, your experience. And so if you're afraid to put yourself out there, they're never going to get it. They're never going to get to your product, because they haven't even gotten to know who you are, and to identify that you're real, that you're sincere.
Yeah.
So I like that, about the personal brand, and that expression not being something different, your brand being your identity. When people see your brand, they should know they should be able to tell a lot of stuff about you, right?
Yeah. And of course, they won't know everything, but like the more that you are open and willing to share and willing to talk about, then the more that they can kind of come into contact with and just again feel like they're a part of something. Like so even like as a personal brand, that is still like a very key factor to me. It's like how can I create community? Not how can I build a following or how can I get, people to,
Yeah.
like buy from me, but it's like how can I create community? So like so I think a lot of people, like when they look at social media, they forget about the like, social part. Like, it's like this, like it's not a place for you to just promote yourself. Promotion only goes so far, and a lot of people, really don't buy a promotion because it's gimmicky, which is why we even see a turn in like in brands and stuff, not necessarily putting out ads, but partnering with influencer, like influencer stuff. Like influencer marketing is huge right now because what people are seeing is if I see that someone is using this product in their everyday life and I follow them and I trust them, then they have good judgment. So then this product must be good. So I'm gonna buy it.
Okay.
So it wasn't because I saw an ad, but it was because I saw someone using it in their everyday life that I trust, that I decide to use it. And so like and again, that's just the power of a personal brand is that, influencer marketing is $1 billion company.
Wow.
And industry actually, if you will. And so like to be able to be in a space now where I think people are really starting to get it and understand it to the point where businesses are saying, we don't need ads. We just need to partner with,
So that's why you see people, on TikTok and other these social media platforms, and they have these items that they are pretty much saying, "I'm using this."
Yeah, and some of it, of course, like brands will pay. They pay them, so so sometimes like they're sponsored ads and everything, but a lot of the times like it's the unsponsored stuff of just these people who have these big followings, but they're just like, hey, like I wasn't paid to do this, but I just love it so much. And I do it. But I mean, but both work really well. And it's just, that's just kind of like the place that we're in. I think people really crave authenticity.
They do.
And authenticity, like it doesn't sell, but authenticity, it builds trust, and trust builds loyalty. I think, customers are in and out, but community is very, 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 like loyal.
That's true.
And so it's like you don't want a clientele, you want a community.
That's true. I love that. Listen, I know I have a following. I have people who are connected to me, and many of the women that I minister to, that I coach, that I mentor, many of them are entrepreneurs, they're ministry leaders. And so this is good stuff. Like this is stuff that you pay really, really, really good money for. The information that Justin is sharing today on his birthday, should I say. I'm kind of kicking him out here on his birthday. This is part of my birthday present to him. That I wanted to have this conversation. It's time for him to get out there and let his voice be heard. He is loaded with knowledge. So if you're out there, you're an entrepreneur, you're a minister, and you're trying to figure out, how do I align my content, my brand? How do I listen? This is the guy right here. You need to reach out to him. How can they contact you?
So they can, of course, they can always reach out to me on Instagram, and DMs and stuff are always open. So my Instagram is creativexjustin. And so that is my Instagram. That's my website, so you can check out like my work and different, businesses and brands and stuff that I've worked with. And then you can email too. And that's just hey@creativexjustin.com, but all that is on the website. And and that's how you can just reach out with me. And it's my Instagram, so you can see my work. It's kind of empty right now because I like restarted. I feel like I restart that thing like every 6 months. But I restarted it, in the planning stages right now of really getting some good stuff out there. So it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited.
I love it. So for those of you who just came on, this is my son, Justin Lewis Jones, Creative X Justin. And we're out here today just talking about some things that he's doing, some things that are going on with him. For you guys to say happy birthday to him, I pinned his Cash App. listen, throw him over a couple of dollars, maybe 22 if you're trying to figure out how much, because he's 22 years old today. I'm so proud of this guy. I don't know what to do. As we've been sitting here chatting, I'm just always amazed when this guy opens up his mouth I'm amazed at how much he knows his heart, how he has a great ability to communicate and express whatever it is, whether it's business like we're talking about now, or whether it's ministry, and he's talking about scripture and the word of God and how God has moved in his life. And we were talking about a little earlier about the amazing trip that we took to Uganda, where he just led out this, oh my goodness, it's a movement, I would say, with Apostle Deborah Barrett's Catapult. He had the opportunity of leading out the next gen portion of that missions trip, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And so I think for me, you know, I sat and I watched, like I was kind of scoping him out as he was doing this thing, and the whole group, the whole team, and I was just watching what God was doing. And, you know, I think about Justin, and I think about his generation, and I think about how important it is for this right here to happen. You know, for this a cross generational, I guess, communication, this cross generational collaboration, this cross generational conversation that is so important, because I believe that we need each other. It was so cool in Uganda. Justin got the opportunity to two radio shows. Two radio shows. He was on two radio shows in Uganda and one television broadcast. He did a recording for a television broadcast. And it was during that television broadcast that you started talking about this cross-generational collaboration. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So while we were in Uganda, a really big portion of what we were doing was tied to cross-generational collaboration, which is something that I didn't really understand the importance of for a long time, but like I really see it now, especially like in my generation, millennials included, like millennials and Gen Z. We can kind of get in this place of thinking that, you know, that we can, you know, do anything, which I mean, like we can, but there is, I think, so much time that we can waste trying to figure things out by ourselves instead of going to other people for help, especially people who have been at whatever it is that we're trying to do for such a long time. And so I think there is a power in just being able to, I guess, throw pride aside and be like, hey, like I need help, or hey, like I don't really know what I'm doing and I would love to help. And but things that I love that it's not even necessarily this thing of like I need help, but it's this thing of like, how can we help each other? And so like, you know, me and my mom, we have helped, you know, I've helped her with some things, she's helped me with a lot of things. And I think it's just proven, you know, that no man is an island, that yes, that we need help. And that there is such a really beautiful thing about coming together, you know, regardless of age, generational gaps or whatever. That there's just something really, really, really special about people coming together just to collaborate. But especially between generations, I think, you know, for us, even like family, like for me, like I had moved away from home for a while. Mine's like second year of college, just because I was like, I gotta get out the house. I gotta spread my wings and figure out, you know, like what I'm doing in my life and all that, which I mean, it was great. And I learned a lot in that year. And I just moved back home in January. And when I moved back home, like I told God, I was like, just because like while I was out there, I was out there trying to spread my wings, and I just, it was just a lot. There's just like a lot going on.
Forgetting he was in college.
Yeah, right. Literally that part. Moving out the house.
What's going on with these grades?
Just moving out the house and doing whatever and being out all the time. And I think I didn't have clear priorities, but it did take me leaving to kind of figure that out, and to see like, hey, you know, I don't have it all figured out. And so this past January, like I moved back home. It's been almost a year now. And when I moved back home, like my prayer and my heart behind it was just I can come back, you know, plant my roots, learn more, not you know, figure it all out by the time I move out, because I don't think we will ever have it all figured out. But just to get to a place where I'm a lot more rooted and just a lot more planted. And so I've been home. And so while I've been home, they've been with me, pushing me, encouraging me, you know, late nights, a lot of tears and crying and all that stuff. And just all the things that come with growing up. But I think there's just this like misconception of, once, we turn 18, that we move out, and that's our time to spread our wings, and we never come back home, and we're just supposed to go and figure this all out by ourselves. But just the beauty of the season that I'm in right now, I didn't have to move away from home from college. So it was a choice. And so to even have the opportunity to come back home, and I'm, still in school. I have 1 year left, but like I've just been home, and I've been home, and they've been encouraging me and helping me and pushing me. And so the really beautiful thing is that now I'm in this place to be able to, grow and flourish. And I've grown so much more in these past 10 months with my parents than I have, by myself when I was on my own.
Yeah,
So,
I think that is that's so important, just knowing. And you know what the good thing is about all of that is knowing that, you do have a soft place to land as a young person, to be able to come back home and say, you know what? And it was really his idea. He was like, yeah, I need to come back home. We know all the details that, like what's going, like I said, what's going on with these grades, just being young, having fun, hanging out, going here, going there, and all in the context of a Christian life, but even in that, there's still boundaries, and especially when you have to there's a balance that you need to have.
oh, yeah.
And I remember when he came back home and he was like, yeah, I just need to, get reset and recalibrated. And one of the other things that you said too, because me and your dad were just launching out for
Right.
his glory and shifting with the church and all of that. And so one of the things that Justin said is, I also know that, I have to help you all. I have to help y'all. I have to help you in what you're doing, because we have this assignment that we have to create, that we have to fulfill as a family.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very mature of you to look at us and say, you know what, now I have a part to play in that, in the development of that. Wow, that was amazing. What do you have to say about that?
So I'll just say it was kind of funny, like how the whole thing happened, but God had honestly just kind of been shifting my heart, just about like even like the call, on my life personally, and what ministry looked like for me. I used to think that it looked like I had to, that my ministry was, like working full time in a church. And so like basically for the past 3 years, like that's honestly like kind of what I've been doing, going through ministry school and being there.
Yeah.
And even now, and God has me there now, and it is a beautiful thing. And there are a lot of great things happening, but I know that there's more. And so when that shift kind of happened for me, it really kind of started in quarantine when we weren't in church.
Yeah.
And we were just at home, and God was kind of revealing and showing me that it's like, man, that, it's like, even though we don't have church, like the physical building, that's not an excuse for people still not to be able to come into a relationship with Jesus. And so God just kind of planted this missional evangelistic seed kind of on the inside of my heart in 2020 that I didn't really start to realize and understand until this year. And so it was funny. I went to my parents and I was like, hey, like, I know that, like I'm at the church right now. I don't know how long I'm going to be there, but I do know that, that there's this missional evangelistic call, to see young people, get hungry for Jesus and become really passionate for Jesus. And so like so my heart is, is to see revival in the hearts of my generation. And so it's so funny because when I told them that, I had a dream. I had a dream that my parents changed the name of their church. And I went to my mom like the next day and I was like, hey, I had a dream that you guys like changed the name of the church. And she was like, it's funny you said that, because like we decided that we're going to shift and we're moving into this more apostolic evangelistic kind of building and planting kind of season. And I was like, that's crazy, because literally where God had kind of began to shift me. And so when I saw that, I immediately knew and understood that, okay, God, like you planted the seed in 2020 and then you've just been watering it this whole time, maturing me to get to this place. Because I didn't know what ministry was going to look like, but I thought it was going to like me working full time in the church. And to be quite honest, like, I don't know. I mean, we had this conversation recently. I don't know what, like, what this next year or what this next, year of my life is going to look like. But I think it's just such a beautiful thing of being obedient to right now. And like what God is doing right now. And so like, I know that evangelism and mission is a part of the call. And there are so many different ways that I'm able to fulfill and achieve that right now. I don't have to wait,
That's right.
I don't have to wait, to go and, do the things that I think it looks like. It's just a thing of being obedient and using what I have right now. And so, like, even a big part of that in 2020 was social media. I can't tell you how many people my age I saw, like, literally overnight, like, yes, like, technically, like, blow up in a way, but it wasn't even about that. But it was the fact that you had young people who were so hungry for the things of God that influence grew for them in months, to the point
Yeah.
where now they have the opportunity and they're going out and they're spreading the gospel.
Yes.
And they're doing it with such a fire, and you can tell that it's not about them building a following for them. It's about them building a following for Jesus.
Right.
And they're they're doing it, and they're doing their thing, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, and it was so funny because, like, of course, like, in this age that I'm kind of in right now, in this social media technology age, like, I had seen some people do it, but not like this. And so then God just kind of honestly opened my eyes to, like, I can do something like this. And it was just so funny because I was asking God for a long time. I was like, okay, God, like, like, I'm really into creative arts and social media, but I also know that there's a call to ministry on my life. How do the two interact?
Yeah.
And how do the two combine? How does that work? In 2020, he literally showed it to me. He showed me people who were doing it, and people, and people who were doing the thing that I never really ever saw or thought was possible. And so now, like, to be in that space of really, and it's so funny, like, again, planted the seed in 2020, and now it's like I was 19, 20 years old. Now I'm 22.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it's the realization is really just starting to hit that chest, and, like, this has been in you all along to be able to do that. And so now it's time to go out and to do it. So
yeah. I'm excited about all of that. Sometimes as parents, we're so concerned, and we're just crying out to God. You want your kids to grow up and to fulfill purpose and to serve Jesus while they're doing that. And sometimes, we're sitting on the sidelines worried about it, and pulling our hair out while God is over there dealing with them, in an intimate, personal kind of way. And it's almost as if God is saying, I got this. Like, I got this. There's no need to worry. So for those of you who are watching, if you have a young adult, a teenager, or what have you, and you have sown those seeds in them, and because that's what we did with Justin. We never forced him. We never had to, which was a good thing. We never had to. And he just blossomed into this relationship with Jesus that on his own. That was amazing. So if you're watching and you may have young people in your life, if you pray for them, if you trust God, he will do the heavy lifting in those instances. No need to try to strong arm anyone or force. There's no greater power than the sweet, soft, still small voice of Jesus speaking in our ear, telling us which way to go. That's the most powerful influence I think that any of us could ever have. And just like he does it for us, he'll do it for our young people as well. So there's some great things on the horizon for his glory, for the Joneses. We have some things that we're going to do as a family. Y'all are going to see us out here as a family more. There's a podcast or something like that in the works, right? Yeah, a family podcast that's in the works. But then I think there's a big announcement about something that you're doing.
Yeah. So just in the light of, like, podcasting, it's become a really popular thing lately. So I'm actually starting my own podcast. It's called Rough Draft, and it is just a bunch of conversations just with friends and family and leaders and influencers, just who just have a heart just to kind of see, like, the weight of perfectionism kind of drop off of people. I kind of see it as, as this podcast being like the war on perfectionism. There's just, I'll be honest, I am a huge perfectionist. She can attest to that. I'm a huge perfectionist. There are things that, like, in my life that, like, I won't even do because of my mind. I think that I won't get it right. Woo. And so it's so Rough Draft. If you can't tell by the title, it's talking about, like, the journey of, just doing this thing we call life, just doing it. Yeah. Just doing it no matter how many times you mess up, and just always knowing that, there's always room to improvise. There's always room to revise and edit. not to make it perfect, just to make it better than it was before.
Yeah.
And so like that's just kind of like my heart is on the podcast, and the conversations that I have is with people who they're not perfect. No, no one is perfect. And kind of like the tagline of, of the podcast is it's imperfect people who almost get it right. And it's just,
Oh, I love that.
it's
Say that again.
the tagline of the podcast is imperfect people who almost get it right. And there's like, like some parentheses and stuff in there. And it's just really funny. But God just kind of gave it to me because this was something that we had talked about a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do it because I was trying to make it perfect.
Right.
And this whole time I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, God, like, I don't even know what to call it. And it was so funny because I was sitting with my mom and we were talking and she was just like, I get all my like, greatest like thoughts in the shower or whatever. And so like, I'm sitting there and I'm like frozen and I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna go take a shower. Like, I don't know. So I go and I take a shower and I'm just talking to God in the shower and I'm just like, hey, like, I need this thing to work. And he's like, okay, I need you to do it. And I'm like, oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of started like running like names kind of by me, and he gave me like a couple different ones, but he landed on I landed on rough draft, and when I said it, like I immediately knew this is it, God. This is it.
Wow.
And again, just kind of doing the thing of there being like this world perfectionism in young people. I think the reason why mental health and a lot of my peers is so it's running rampant is because we have these expectations that honestly, it's so funny. Like, again, not saying that it's not something that shouldn't be addressed and something that's real, because it's things that I've dealt with. But a lot of times these expectations that we create are all it's all mental. And it's just, it's just a like internal pressure more than it is external pressure a lot of the time, just because we set these expectations of perfection on ourselves. And God doesn't require perfection. He just wants our heart. And so this podcast is all about that. So I just finished the trailer not too long ago, just like put it together. So I'm putting it out today as a trailer kind of for this series. And I'm just really excited about what God is going to do with it, because I just really believe that there's going to be like a lot of healing for just a lot of people. Again, me moving back home, one thing I talked about was just like the journey that God has been taking me through since I've been back home. And it's been a lot of me laying my pride aside, being honest about where I'm at, but moving forward every single day. And every day has just been doing better than I did the day before. And so like this podcast is more than even just, yes, like, of course, like there's a faith-based undertone, but I think it's more than just like, this relationship with Jesus. Well, it's not more than our relationship with Jesus, but I think it's understanding that our relationship with Jesus is more than going to church and reading the Bible. But it's like we serve a God who created every single part of us. And so like it even comes down to the soul of your mind, your will, and your emotions. Like Jesus is in everything that we do, not just in the ministry that we do, in everything. Like as a Christian, your life should be ministry. And so that's in everything that we do. So like for me, like I've been going to the gym because my body is a temple. I've been focusing on my mental health and reading and things like that. I've been making sure that I'm eating right. I've been, but at the same time, I've also, been working on my relationships with my friends and with my family. And I've also, been like kind of pushing myself creatively to be better than I was yesterday. And so this podcast is about all of that. This podcast is about being the best version of yourself, not a perfect version, just the best version. So it's just like a really beautiful thing of doing this, having conversations again with people who they're not perfect. They just may be a couple of steps ahead. And so I'm just really excited just to be able to do this, have these conversations and even talking about it now. I just know that like, even though my prayers for other people to receive something, I just know that this is just going to help me a lot too. Because again, I'm not doing this because I have it all figured out, but I'm doing this because I'm figuring it out. And so, as I'm figuring it out,
I'm not doing this because I have it figured out,
but because I'm figuring it out.
I'm doing this because I'm figuring it out. See, he just slides these nuggets in there, and wow, that is so powerful. And there's so many people that are not doing it, whatever it is, because they feel like I haven't figured it out. So I can't do it until I figure it all out. So I have everything in line.
That was literally me this morning. I kid you not. Before I filmed the trailer, that was me this morning.
Jasmine said, "Happy birthday, brother."
Thank you. Love you so much. But so the podcast is coming. I'm like trying to get the guest list and just trying to deal with that. Just trying to get everybody, ready. I'm excited. Some of my friends who know about it, they're excited.
Okay.
And so there's going to be some really great conversations.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting like the social and everything set up for that. So until then, just follow me just to kind of just keep the updates like for that and everything. But again, this is going to be great. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. And yeah.
So follow Justin on Instagram. Justin
Creative X Justin.
Creative X Justin on Instagram, right? That's where you do most of your stuff, right?
That's like all my stuff.
That's all his stuff. So for those of us who have to get better with like showing up on Instagram, we'll let Justin push us in that area. I gotta do better with Instagram, but Creative X Justin on Instagram. His website is creativexjustin.com. Go out there. For those of you who are looking for somebody to work with you on content creation, right? Yeah. And really bringing a voice to your brand, and making that integrate, who you are with what you do, what you offer, making that seamless. I think it has to be seamless, and I think that's what Justin helps with, that whole not creating a following, but creating a community. That's so important. That's so important. Learning how, I got a lot from him today, just from this conversation, learning how to, really be that personal brand, that authentic personal brand, and not feeling like, you have to live double lives. I'm over here this way. And then when I'm being my brand, I'm over here, but just being and living and walking out who you are on a day-to-day basis. I think for me, it's always been easy for me to just, I'll get on here, I'll get on social media. Like I told them, come on, we're going to do a live. See, that's just me. Like I don't have to have it figured out.
That's not me.
I don't have to know if it's going to be perfect. I don't worry about whether I'm going to stumble over my words. Many times I don't even worry if I even have a thought. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to turn it on and it's going to happen. And so that's the way I operate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it drives them crazy. Him.
Yeah. Because I'm and she is too. But it's so funny because like, as much as like and I think it's just like it just shows even like both my parents like I don't think I'm type A or type B. I think there has to be like a type C where it's like a mix of the both. Like I have my moments, so it's like but more often than not I really do kind of drive more on that type A side, which is if you don't really have like an idea, it's just kind of like just how your personality works. So type A is very like not OCD, but just very detail driven. So like for me, I'm very detail driven, almost to the point of where it like will deter me from doing something because I want to have it all, I want everything lined out and lined up. And my notes app is full of so many great ideas and plans and strategies and stuff that just never carried out because I just never felt like it was good enough. But then also there's that type B where there are some things that I like will just do. But it's so funny just because I just think it's I think just kind of harnessing it and just just finding a balance.
A good balance.
I think that's like the really big thing for me. Like even in this season of my life is balancing. Like balancing everything, balancing my health, balancing my wellness, balancing my spirituality and my relationship with God and my relationship with my family and my friends. And it's just a balance, but it doesn't have to be hard. It's just finding the balance. So.
Right. It does not have to be hard. It's not. I think it's what we make it.
Yeah.
I think we can make it. We can have our idea in our head about what a thing is, and it'll be that. I think that God gives us, He gives us the ability to just be able to decree a thing and see it happen. There's so much untapped power. So much untapped power and potential. And I think for me, one of the things that really gets me is untapped potential, especially when I have an inside scoop on the amount and the level of potential there. I'm like, right? When I know that it's there, I'm like, it has to get out of you and into the world because there are people that need what you have. I had a lot of one-on-ones yesterday, and in all of them with coaching clients, the question that I ask is if you don't do what you're supposed to do, what cost is paid? Like, what is the cost of your not showing up? Whew. And I remember it almost brought tears to one of the person's, eyes, because not just about yourself, but what about the people out there that need what you have?
Right.
What about the people out there that need your voice? Because I can say it, and you can say it to the same person. They won't hear me, but they'll hear you. Yeah, but if your mouth is shut and you're not speaking out, then that person is out there looking. It doesn't mean that God won't raise somebody else up, but why not? Why not use me?
Yeah, yeah. And it's such a, I mean, and I think that's like a wake up call for a lot of people, because it just comes back to the thing of like, for me, like I think about, like for me in my own personal life, there's so many times where like I've heard the same thing, but there may have been one person or a couple people who I heard it from, and it really turned something on for me. And it's like, wow, like if I can do that for someone else, then
yes,
then why not?
Yes.
And I think it is, it's just thing of understanding like the things that you've been through, the things you face.
Yeah.
The person you are today is not just because God got bored, but it's it's because like there's something on the inside of you that will unlock something on the inside of somebody else. But like if we never get out of our own way of doing it, and I'm preaching to myself.
Good. Keep on preaching. Keep on preaching
to myself. Like if we never get out of our own way, then we'll never like there. There's just so much. It was like I'll just talk about this a little bit, and then I don't know, we can do whatever else.
Okay.
But I was praying to God, and I do this like every year on my birthday. I pray like for a word or for a phrase, just to kind of take me into my next year of life. And so like last year, it was obedience. Well, it was obedience and surrender. And so it's like, God, just like whatever you want, like I'll do it. And so that was so I was like my 21st year. And so I, of course, in your year of, 21, where you're, I guess, fully legal to do whatever, I had to make the decision to say, well, God, I'm going to surrender, that full maturity.
Wow.
To you.
Wow.
And so I did that, and a lot, and the things that I saw like a lot more happen than would have ever happened on my own. Like, like I said, I moved back home, and it's like you turn 21, like most 21-year-olds, like don't turn 21 and then move back home. They,
21 says, let's
and
go.
They leave. I turned 21, I moved back home. Like, it's so countercultural, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, that's who I am. And as a follower of Jesus, like that's what I am, like countercultural. But 22, I was reading about it this morning, and I searched up. I was like, what does the number 22 mean? And I was reading it, and it was just like, 22 just symbolizes, just God's revelation. And it was so funny because then I read this verse, and it was talking about how it can like refer to like the word light, and how like how God's word is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. And so that is revelation, something that is revealed. God, reveals things to us through his word. His word is a revelatory lamp.
Yeah.
It guides us, and it guides us. But then I thought about it again, and I said, okay, God, like I just turned 22, so what does that mean? And he took me to Matthew 5. Matthew 5:13, where it says, you are the light of the world.
Wow.
A city on a hill that cannot be hidden.
Cannot be hid.
And so it's just that thing of, okay, like, okay, all right, God, 22 is the year of the light.
Yes.
Of me using the light of God's word to be a light for others. And so, again, like just being a city on a hill, that cannot be hidden. And so like last night when I was driving home from being out with some friends and everything, I was driving in the car, and God, he gave me 2 words. He said, undeniable passion. And I was just like, okay, God, like this is going to be a year of undeniable passion, like for you and for the things of you, to be able to see everything it is that you want to do, like to see it come to pass. Like God, like whatever it takes, like I'll do it. Just like that zeal and kind of like that hunger for like the more of God. And so just like this morning to see like, okay, like you got that because, and you felt that because you understand that you're the light of the world. It's, a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. And so like this year, I think not just for me, but even for us as a family and in our relationships and everything, it's just going to be a year of just doing it.
That's good.
Just doing it, and not
a year
for me,
of doing
just
it.
a year of doing it.
Just a year.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Do it.
Yeah. That is so good. That is so good. Now, if we had not come on today and done this live, all of that goodness would not have been shared to those that are watching right now, to those that will watch later. This is kind of like a birthday present, for me to Justin to come out here and do this live together and talk about what God is doing, what God is saying, talk about him as an entrepreneur, talk about him as a minister, which we've seen all sides of him, as a creative, a minister, as an entrepreneur, and as just a 22-year-old, right? And that's what the world needs to see, that we are multifaceted. And I think that that's what the podcast is going to be about. I love that name, Rough Draft. I love that name because what's the tagline? That imperfect
people who almost get it
right. Imperfect people who almost get it right, but we still do it. Even if there's a part in there that's not completely 100%, together we learn from it and we do it again and we learn from it. That rough draft is the thing that you're working on, trying to get it to perfection, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much in that rough draft, and that rough draft is good. That rough draft is your yes.
It's the start.
It's the start. Woo, that's good. We got to start somewhere. Whether it's one person or 1 million people. What we have to offer is going to help somebody. And so I think with this, you talked about being countercultural.
Right.
That's good, because that will help in our when we carry out our assignment. We look for different things. So in the culture that we're in now, we got to have 1 million followers. We got to have 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't have that, or if 10 million people don't come on our broadcast, it's a failure. That's cultural. Countercultural in that respect is, I don't care who is there and who isn't. I'm going to do what God is telling me to do. And I ain't going to feel no kind of way about it, because this is it. When you do what God tells you to do, you have a 100% success rate. I tell people that all the time. 100% success rate when you do what God is telling you to do.
Yeah.
So listen, y'all, be a blessing to this amazing man of God today on his birthday. Jasmine gave you 100 stars. I don't know if she's still on. She says these stars are for Justin. And so you can give stars. If you look, I think at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the stars there. And it says send stars to Kimberly Jones Global. And so we'd appreciate those stars. Go to Justin's Cash App and leave him a little birthday present there. At tell me again, Justin Creative.
Justin Lewis Creative.
Justin Lewis Creative. I'm gonna put it right here. Justin Lewis Creative. Justin Louis Creative, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just go there and be a blessing to Justin. I mean, I think it would be encouraging for him today on his birthday, as we're launching him out. And I think as parents, we think that we have, let me say this and then we're going to close. I'm talking to the parents that are listening, of young adults, of younger children, or whatever. We think that we have to have like millions and millions of dollars or something if we want to leave a legacy to our children or have something to offer them. Whatever we have disposal to, we should offer that to our children. Whatever it is that God has given me, whatever it is that God has given his dad, ministry. So there are ministry opportunities. There are things that we do that, like when we went to Uganda, I felt like I was just so there to support what God was doing in him. Whatever we have, our time, our talent, our treasure is our legacy that we give to our children. And we don't have to wait till we're dead and gone. That whatever we have right now, that we should be very conscientious and intentional about passing something along, about pushing them, about helping them, about, giving them a chance and an opportunity to do something that is aligned with their gifts and talents and anointing. I know what's in him. Nobody can tell me otherwise. And so I know this is a piece of cake. He might not know it all the time, but how he articulates, how he communicates, his, just his presence, and his love for people and his love for God. So I don't, I may not have millions and millions of dollars, but I know how to crank up a social media broadcast, or or show you how to write a book, or push you out there in some other aspect, and I think that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny. I mean, because like this is like it's it's what I like. Basically, this is like what I do for work, but it scares me every single time that I do it, which is why like I hardly ever do it.
Right.
But she pushes me so much, to just get out there because because she sees it, and so now I think it's just a thing of me being able to see it, and so I'm just excited more than anything, I guess, to kind of get over the fear of it and just be like, hey, like let's just do it, and then like just have fun, like, and if it doesn't go the way that you thought it, would join the club, like like it doesn't really for anyone, and then like but then also like it also cannot go how you thought it would and be 20 million times better than you thought it would. So it's like you have just like you said, you have 100% success rate if you try. But if you don't do anything at all, then you're 100% going to fail. So
that's a fail. That's an immediate fail if you don't do it. You don't do it. So Rough Draft Podcast is coming. We're going to be doing some things as a family as well. Ministry for His Glory is out there, alive and kicking. Even now, we have a gathering that's coming up on November 17th through the 20th. November 17th through the 20th, right here in Atlanta, the prayer gathering. And this is also a big announcement about that. That just happened, hot off the press, is that Justin is actually going to be one of the speakers. So Jasmine, I know you're listening, so we need another flyer out there. Because he's going to be doing some stuff with Next Gen as it pertains to the prayer gathering and prayer. And we got some neat things and some creative things that we thought about as far as the presentation of that. It's going to be exciting and fun, right? Yeah, it is. So come on, if you're in the Atlanta area, and even if you're not, make it your business to be November 17th through the 20th to be a part of the Repairing the Altar prayer gathering. And I'm just going to put that on there on www.rtagathering.com. And we want you to be a part of that. It's going to be amazing. We have Dr. Yvonne Capehart. We have Apostle Mark May and Apostle Pam Bennett. When I tell you there's going to be a prophetic shift, also Minister Justin Jones, myself, and Apostle Louis C. Jones Jr., Pastors Kenyon and Jasmine Dudley are going to be leading out an altar night. And if you've never, ever, ever, ever experienced altar night, you're in for a huge blessing. Awesome. They are, absolutely. I've seen them do. God has used that altar night in so many creative ways. Like you just never know what you're gonna get. You just never know. So anyway, I remember the last one when we were in North Carolina. That altar night had me jumping around and running around and whatever else, rolling around or whatever. God showed up in such a magnificent way. Oh my goodness, it was absolutely amazing. The push and the it was absolutely a prophetic push. That atmosphere pushed me. Like that, I don't even want to get started because I don't ever stop talking about that. But it was amazing, and it's not going to be anything less than that. And I know it'll be greater because God takes the prayer gathering and everything about it from faith to faith and from glory to glory, from level to level, from dimension to dimension. So we want you to be there. We want you to join us. RTAGathering.com is where you go and find out the information about this amazing event. And again, say happy birthday to Justin. I would sing if I could. Look, he's like, oh God, is she going to sing? I'll spare you, but say happy birthday to Justin. Follow him on Instagram, Creative X Justin. Yes. Creative X Justin. Website the same, creativexjustin.com, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Anything else?
Pretty much it.
Where's that podcast going to be? How can I get to
I'm still trying to figure that out. Yeah, okay, where it'll be streaming, but I mean, most likely all the streaming platforms.
Okay.
And then it will have like a video, like we'll be recording
a live recording,
right?
A live
so
recording.
Then all the episode stuff will go like on YouTube.
Okay, so on YouTube, your YouTube channel is
We'll probably just end up doing a separate one for the
okay
podcast.
for the
I mean,
podcast.
mine right now is Justin Lewis Jones, but there's
Okay.
like nothing on there.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll probably end up.
It's
doing
gonna
a
be
separate
so.
one.
It's gonna be so fun watching all of this stuff flourish and blossom and come to life. This is the season for you. You said 22 means revelation.
Yeah.
Okay, so revelation. The when you look at the original meaning of that in the Greek, it means to take the top off, like to take the lid off.
Wow.
Yep. And so I believe that that's what God is doing in your life in this season. He's taking the top off, taking the lid off, meaning that he's expanding the place of your territory, and that those small places, those boxed in places that you have gotten so comfortable living in,
Yeah.
that God is expanding that, and he's taking the lid off and allowing you to go beyond the limitations that you and the enemy has placed on your life.
Yeah.
So
Let's go.
happy
I know, right?
happy birthday. Happy birthday. Listen, guys, thank you for being on and joining us. Somebody said, yes, let's sing.
Oh, that's probably Jasmine.
Did she sing to you this
She
morning?
sang me a little bit.
She,
Yeah,
it is her, and she has this whole thing with singing.
She loves it.
And she said she's going to get this singing coach. I don't know. Anyway, let's pray for Jasmine. She's probably singing right now. I can see her singing right now. But anyway, thank you for coming on. Be a blessing to Justin today for his birthday. Shoot him a inbox, a message, shoot him something in his Cash App. Let him know how much you love him, how much we appreciate him. Let's sow into him. I want him to know that that this is his season for God taking the lid off of every gift, all his talents, all his anointings, and that and letting him know that his voice does matter. And now you have a whole lot of people that are going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Because everybody has heard that the podcast is coming, and that these other things that you've been called to do, that you're going to step out. Any entrepreneur, he does websites. He helps with content creation. He helps with articulating and giving language to who you are out there in the world of even social media and your branding and your business and ministry and all of that. So check him out. And that book is coming. Yes. So Justin, it is coming. It is coming. You know, that's her. Yeah. He's already started on it. It's just practically done.
Yeah.
It just needs to go through editing and So, I think she got another title for you.
That's the book.
That is okay. That's the title of the one. She knows it too, huh?
Yeah.
That girl, something else. Anyway, the search.
Yeah.
The search is coming. The search is coming. So y'all get ready for that. God bless you. We done? I think we're done.
Thank you guys for all of the birthday wishes and all that stuff. I feel really loved and really appreciated. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome.
And, I know I probably seem really uncomfortable right now, but
no, I don't think
so. You don't think so?
No.
Oh, I feel like I am. But
does he seem like he's uncomfortable?
Do I seem like I am?
Yeah, let's see what people say.
I don't know.
Let's see. Does he seem uncomfortable, y'all? Let's see. Let's see.
Know.
We're gonna get some feedback and then we'll shut it down. Give us some constructive feedback or ask a question. If you have a question or anything, do that. We're gonna see. Let's see. Kimberly Jones. Thank you, Maureen. Okay. Look like she's put my information up there.
Okay. Hello. Who said hello?
Oh, Jasmine said LOL kinda.
Kinda.
She's one to give it.
She's
gonna tell the truth now. She's gonna tell the truth. Okay, LOL kinda. Okay, that's good. We need to know. Okay, Jasmine says LOL kinda, so we'll get details from her on what needs to change. See, this is the kind of thing that I don't mind. Like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
I don't know. I don't know. Lives have always. I don't know. It's just it's been kind of weird.
Really?
Yeah. Like filming.
And this is what you do.
Yeah.
Like y'all should see his skills for like filming and video stuff on the other side of the camera.
Right. Yeah. I do a lot more stuff behind the camera than in front of one. So, but God is calling me in front of it. So I'm like, okay, this. I gotta. The thing is that, but like live in front of people, I have no problem.
I know.
Yeah,
that's true.
Live in front of people, I can talk their head off all day. But I don't know, for some reason, in front of a camera, it's like the weirdest thing to me.
Shakara's on here. She says, "Hi, family," and
Hey.
she says, "Do it unafraid."
Do it unafraid.
Okay. All right. All right.
Gotta get unafraid.
Unafraid. What else? You see anything else?
Oh, it's someone who said.
Oh, Jenna said, "Happy birthday, Justin."
Thank you.
Yeah, and some of the other folk on here saying happy birthday. But okay, all right. Well, hey, nothing like that authenticity. So we got I tell folks to do it uncomfortable, do it afraid. I don't matter. You feel the feeling and you choose the behavior.
Right.
I may feel this way, but I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna do it anyhow. All right? Okay. You ready? All right. All right, y'all. Thank you for being on today. And keep your ears open and your eyes open for some other things coming from the Joneses. And yeah, we'll see you out there. Okay. Blessings. Have an amazing rest of your Saturday.